Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to The Good Show, powered by Asus, episode number 9. And I'm joined at the desk by Semmler.
What's up, man?
I don't know, dude. You seem overly happy.
We're off to a really good start. And I love that you remind us that, hey, we're powered by Asus. And what the fuck were we listening to in the opening credits?
I just thought I'd play people some soft-core German porn in the background while they got ready. I hope I got a lot of people in trouble through the stream.
Yeah, I saw people saying, my mom walked in, looked at the screen, and walked out. Not a word was said. What's up to ruining children's lives?
I just felt like trolling the chat a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so let's introduce our resident experts. Newman? How's it going?
Change the stigma to shit.
Yeah, you're looking very suave today, Newman. Yeah?
It's got it from work, so.
Where the fuck do you work? A male gigolo?
Can't say, unfortunately.
You sexy bastard.
We look kind of different.
Huh?
Yeah.
He has like a classic style. I have to work in, like they said, 24-hour a day. Haven't slept much. It's an awesome game.
Gaming casual.
We've probably got white noise on Newman. Trans. Here we go. We're going to fix you guys.
Nice studio.
Great start.
It's our fault. We haven't replaced the microphone, Newman. So you looked good, but you didn't sound good. Should get a camera shot of this.
Yes.
Newman has to bend his head forward quite far.
Fixed.
Yeah,
Just bring the mic back in.
You gotta bring the mic
back in.
Hey.
Can you say that in German?
How does he sound now?
Sound
Back over to Newman.
Yay.
How's it going, Newman? You sound
I'm fine.
sound as good as you look.
Thank you.
Yeah, and of course we've bought off from fighting zombies for a limited amount of time. It is the one and only addicted to the game Daisy Hellspawn. You look like shit.
Yeah, I am shit. I feel shit. But
This
they
is what
said it's
happens.
good.
It's like we should just cut the image in half, and on the right-hand side of the screen doesn't play Daisy until the end of the night.
For sure.
On the left-hand side plays only Daisy.
Basically, I'm playing to 3 to 5 in the night, and then I go up at 7 to 8, go to work.
You're crazy.
So I sleep between 3 and 4 hours at the moment.
That's
That's
hardcore,
an awesome game.
That's fucking hardcore.
I've got to be honest, I think...
I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll. I died like 4 times yesterday, so I need to gear up all the time.
Fucking hell.
Now, do you get ambushed, or do you just die to zombies?
Both, I would say, but mostly it's like ambush.
Hey, Hellspawn, how often do you die in DayZ? Some people are asking.
He said, he just said 4 days.
Yeah, like 4 times yesterday, I think.
Okay. 4 times yesterday in one day.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Almost as close to the Diablo days, or is it
no,
No,
I think Diablo was worse.
He could only play for 2 minutes yesterday.
Oh, right.
No. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys, for coming in. I guess I'm done talking to you because the camera's back on me now.
Yeah.
So we should do our
Thanks
bit.
for having us.
Thank you so much. Fuck, like Subway in Stockholm. What the hell is going on? Like they're having a big rework at the blue subway.
The blue line.
Yeah, the blue line.
It's horrible, especially if you work on the blue line.
Hate life to go to work.
Yeah, now you wish you got that apartment up north, huh?
I wish so, yeah. I like the south.
Southside
That makes no
represent.
sense. All right, there you go. So that's some good information for people, our viewers from Stockholm. Stay away from the blue line, not only because there's works on it, but also Hellspawn rides it at night.
And I kill zombies, but mainly players, so watch out.
All right, so always at the start of the show, we do mention we got some big topics to talk about. Yeah, we got like MLG changing some of its business model. We got a new player agency coming in, as well as some other stuff from other different games. I can't really remember right now. So instead of make myself look stupid, I'll direct it to someone else. So Semmler, please break down what happened last week.
Because I make it happen naturally, man.
I don't even need to try.
Nope. Don't even need to set it up. So, let's see here. Last week, in the realm of esports, we had StarCraft 2. We'll start with StarCraft 2 for the day. So, we now know who are the top 8 players that will be going to the NASL Finals in Toronto. This is going to be happening in just a couple of weeks now, the 14th and 15th of July. But NASL will be filing out Puzzle, Rhett, Alicia, Huck, Puma, MC, Stefano, and Hero to compete. Now, I couldn't find a prize pool anywhere, so I wanted to wrap that up quite nicely. But we don't know
Shouldn't
what
it
they're
be
competing
$200,000?
for. But what?
Yeah, because the original announcement
Uh-huh.
back in, let's see, October 2010, wasn't it October 2010, I think? They announced they're gonna do 3 seasons for a total of $400,000.
No, I think they said 300k.
No, 400. I can watch it. I can.
You can pull that up.
Yeah,
Google
yeah.
that shit.
We need
Because
to-
I remember I made kind of fun of In Control and had like they posted some green faces
Put
on
the
him.
camera on Hellspawn if he's... Stop giving
What the hell
Apollo
is
food.
Apollo?
Who's fuck's feeding Apollo? Don't
Apollo with
feed-
the banana.
Get a sign that says "Don't feed the
Monkey
Apollo."
boy.
Do you-
No,
No,
the monkey.
but it was 400,000. So they have had 100,000. They had 100,000, which should make it 200,000 left.
200K for this.
But I don't think it's gonna be that.
Yeah, but they've given away a lot of money already for the games that are played.
So you mean they split it up to
Yes,
like
yeah.
the mid-season?
Yeah,
Could be.
So,
Because
so
throughout-
what is the prize money for NASL Season 3 finals?
We don't like. I haven't been
No
able to
one
find
knows.
it anywhere. Now, if somebody can post that in the chat, that'd be awesome. But
Is it even
I
public
haven't. I
knowledge?
haven't been able to find it on their site. I haven't been able to find it on Team Liquid. So I don't know if anybody even knows how much they're fighting for.
Maybe NSL don't even know.
No. Well, I mean, they've
Maybe
given
there
out
is-
so much.
Maybe
throughout
they're
the
collecting
season.
cans.
Maybe
right
they're
now
going to
to-
wait until the event starts and announce that
$1
there's no prize money
million.
when all the players are there.
Like ESL did once.
The interesting part to me is that it's 2 Slayers players, 2 Team Liquid players, 2 EG players, and then you have MC and Stefano from Millennium SK. So it's like good players from the best organizations, but it's very slimmed down.
Yeah, I think they were really lucky getting Huck as well in the
Yeah,
last game.
for sure.
I mean,
Absolutely.
imagine that lineup without Huck. It would be so boring.
It's like having DreamHack
It's-
having Torsen winning.
exactly,
It's
exactly,
like the
I was
same
about to say.
thing.
NASL have definitely changed how they put the focus on their content, if you noticed. When they originally came out, it was all about the finals and hyping up the finals. And then they only had, like, was it 1 or 2 commentators do a 13-week commentary segment? And it got pretty stale. quickly.
Yeah, it was kind of bad production. Also.
Now they've actually focused on those 13 weeks and improving them with Rotterdam, Mr. Bitter, and also some other guys
Frodan.
with deep voices.
Frodan and Retorque were the other casters.
And they've actually tried to make the 13 weeks content actually a lot better. And I think they're purposely taking focus off their grand finals in terms of not saying it's going to be like, wow, crazy.
Yeah. And they know they can't compete with the bigger boys.
But it's also in terms of actually how much content they put out, they're probably putting out more than MLG and IPL with all these weeks content. So when they go back to sponsors, they've got more viewing time. And if their viewers are good over the 13 weeks, it's probably more important to them than the actual grand finals. But I don't want their grand finals to be shit. I don't want them to think
they,
oh, it's going
they
to be
have
rubbish,
had
but
big problems on the finals, but is NASL the best StarCraft 2 online league at the moment? I can say it maybe is, because I think IPL doesn't have that great numbers. And MLG's online part has been kind of disaster because they always present the results.
Yeah, they always
of
leak
course,
the results
GSL
first.
I'm counting out to some extent because that's not an online league. So
of course, you can't count them if they're not only online.
you know, but what I mean, like day-to-day basis, they do compete on the same kind of numbers.
Yeah, but I think NSL is doing really well. I mean, looking at their first season and their second season, and now this third season, it's been improving.
I wonder what they've
day
done.
to day almost.
Like, did they change the whole production team?
I think they've
Or-
been switching
Nah,
people
they just
on and off,
stepped
haven't
up.
They
But this is like before they had more or less all the numbers wrong at all time, so they always had to make adjustments. For this season, it more or less seems that they have been on track on almost everything. I think it looks good, and maybe the show games has been strange to me. Like with this, they haven't it's called dumpsters.
yeah,
Dump
it's
trucks.
mining out. is what
Yeah,
they do.
like it was cool the first time. I didn't get it afterwards.
Yeah. They're
And
trying
the
to
show
do
game
concepts.
hasn't been that
they?
kind
Probably
of.
should have varied them a bit and mining out and they had something else.
Yeah. But those small segments of having Sase, for example, like, you know, what's it called? What did he do?
They were digging holes, I think. And like
No. Like, they have like 15 seconds commercials
Uh-huh.
in front before the show game. Like, they're doing silly stuff, like being slaves to the commentators and stuff like that.
Shit, you've watched more of this than I have. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just watched some small of the commercials, but NASL, it's great. I hope they can do like a well-round finals. First one was a complete disaster.
But it
Second
was
one was
so
so-so.
entertaining.
I laughed so much that the pain in my stomach was a problem. I almost had to go to the hospital because I laughed so much. Fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious.
Lindsay Sporer, man.
Lindsay Sporer, man.
But
Like,
maybe that's
you still remember her.
You can't not.
Years after her
Can't
only
hate on that.
performance. When
she interviewed Anna Prosser, and Anna just went up to try to talk to her about how we're gonna work, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" "Well, I'm hosting the event."
It's like they never met.
No, man. A good one was like
comedy
Drewby,
gold.
when she walked up to Drewby. It was Drewby or another player who just got knocked out of the tournament, and she had no idea he was a pro player. She walks up to him and she's like, "Do you ever hope to be able to make it onto the main stage one day?"
Yeah.
And it was like the most awkward moment ever, because you see him dying inside, where he's like, "Yes, yes,
like
I
a
do."
female
You know?
version of you, Semmler.
Hey,
I like
I know.
Newman.
Watch it back. You got to make it out of here alive. Remember?
Newman.
I know. I can't hate on anybody in the interview.
Yeah.
I haven't got up to a pro player and been like,
Yeah, you're
Come
not that
on.
bad.
I just said what, like, Navi, how does it feel to win when they'd lost, Like, that was pretty good, I thought. But that still keeps me up at night, man. I'm trying to go to sleep, and I'm just replaying that one scene in my head. Like, it would have been such a great hosting thing if I hadn't just made that one mistake, and it's fucking keeping me up at
It's
night.
always
'cause
a
I lie
good
there, and I'm
hosting
just like,
segment if you
"Ah."
ask correct questions.
Yeah, well, just like, it doesn't matter, but that question in particular is just like, oh, why did I do that? But
I notice you blank out a lot when you go up on stage.
sometimes, yeah.
I don't. What is it? Like, you get up on stage and you're just like,
No. I
am
get
I
up on
doing
stage because sometimes it's a little bit off-put as far as like what the timing is supposed to be when I'm supposed to start talking, and there's no clear like, okay, start talking now. So I'm kind of sitting there waiting for the lights to come on. So whatever. There's a bunch of shit that goes into it.
you're like a
I
rabbit.
think it was kind of
with the
hard
lights.
for you to just the production way. You didn't know when to come on.
They just pushed me.
Yeah.
And they were just like, but then I'm like, the players aren't ready. I shouldn't be out on the stage yet and shit like that. Like, I don't know. Whatever. There's a bunch of different shit that goes into it.
I think we can talk about it to
Yeah.
a small part. I think
We've like completely sidetracked.
yeah,
off
but
of what we were talking
when
about.
players are interviewed, and I think that when you're seeing commentators and when you're seeing hosts and people like being on camera, it's a lot about how the environment and the people like doing the production behind the camera. Because I can see from like people that are still professional and it's done in a professional way, but they are just messing too much with details, sounds, camera angles and stuff, which make the object who gets interviewed, for example, really uncomfy. I think, like, for example, the strength they've been with Rakaka, when I come up with my mobile phone, it's just that I'm being really personal. Hey, want to talk? All right, shoot, we go. It's no hustle.
That's true.
So you're feeling like really like, okay, cool.
It works for me as well. I mean, I go to events sometimes and I go up to some girls and be like, hey, do you want to come do a video on my mobile phone?
Yeah.
Just, you'd be surprised.
I mean, if you're gonna start to like, you need this angle, and can we try the sound and everything, probably won't be the same mood on the girl.
No, man.
All right, well, we'll come back to it. I guess NASL are just trying to underhype their event, really, and make sure that they're not putting too much hype on the finals, so that when they do show up at the finals, everybody's like, whoa, wait.
You think
You know
they're
what I mean?
underhyping it?
I think that's what they're doing. I think they're just trying not to draw too much
Wait,
attention to it, so that it's not too...
What part of the show are we in? This is Semmler's segment.
This is one of the things we're supposed to be talking about.
Get
Yeah,
the
but
fuck
fuck
off
off,
with the
dude.
segment, Semmler.
We'll do it, we'll do it.
Move on.
All right,
By the way,
next
just
thing.
Canada.
Oh, you want to talk more?
Yeah,
All right,
go for
camera on this.
Yeah, but Canada.
But
What do you
each
think of
point-
Canada?
Huh?
Like
Canada?
Esports, big event. Montreal with StarCraft has been maybe the best one overall in the world. It seemed to drag shitload of attention. How do you think the event will be in that regard?
Canada's going to be awesome.
I think
Yeah,
the
I think so
fans
too.
are going to be sick of it.
Do you think
WSVG
they're-
was awesome. I think the Intel Extreme Masters, when they went there, was pretty good too.
Was it not that bad, eh? That's right.
Yeah,
You
that
think
was
they're happy
incredible.
with the player pool though, from like a viewership
Amazing.
perspective? Like
I'm gonna see it.
One
No, they've got
American
Huck.
and
Huck
like
is their
one
ace,
European.
man. That's it.
Yeah.
They got Huck.
Yeah,
They're
but
going to
still,
blow
they need
everything
viewers
up.
from all over North America. I mean, there's like no
They have
American
Huck.
player.
There's
I
your
don't
North
know.
American pride right there. Stefano, even though all the
Yep.
US fans want to
And
say
Red-
like Stefano USA. I mean,
And MC.
Alright.
I mean,
We'll see. We'll see.
great.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's continue with Semmler's segment of serious.
I kind of like where this is going, though. I'd rather have discussion on the recent events than just, be like, read them off. But we'll talk about that.
Now, no one talk to Semmler, okay? Go.
That's
my fault.
Boring. That's just boring. All right, the round of 48 in the GSL, Code A, has begun, actually, with the first two groups of players playing in the past couple of days. Let me see. Players advancing in the first group will be Hero, Finn, Gumiho, and the STC. The STC, I managed to watch that match. It was sick, and he's actually proving that he is still one of the better Terrans out there. Really glad to see him move on. In Group 2, we saw MMA, Puzzle, Jachi, and Bomber continue forward. So great results from these guys so far to start off the Code A season, and that's excellent to see just because these are big names that are going to be making their way forward in the tournament. As far as results for StarCraft 2, that's about it. Now we're going to be moving into Dota 2 with Orange Esports going on to win the Join Dota Masters tournament. Actually putting Absolute Legends back in their place because Absolute Legends have been getting fairly comfortable taking second place. This is their third time now in this tournament that they've taken second place. So congratulations to Orange Esports for coming out on top and taking the gold. And also the big news in Dota 2 is the defense has kicked off. This is the second time this tournament has run, and they're doing a fantastic job. They have an amazing lineup, and there's too many teams to just read off, so I'm just going to give you the teams that have been doing well and managing to grab wins in their groups. But in Group 1, we have EG and Infused, both sitting at the top of the pile. In Group 2, Complexity Gaming, and I'm going to try and pronounce this one right, Ubelst, the German team, Ubelst? Ubelst Gaming?
No idea.
No idea?
No either.
Alright, so it's like U-Boat? Is it U-Boat? Alright, U-Boat Gaming and Absolute Legends in Group 2 have done well. They've taken wins. In Group 3, Next KZ and Storm Games Clan have come out on top. And in Group 4, we have CLG, Copenhagen Wolves, and Hello Moto actually taking wins. Now, this is a $10,000 prize pool tournament, or $10,000 prize pool tournament, and it's making use of the new feature that Dota 2 Valve just implemented in the game, the pass. You can actually buy a pass for about €3 in the EU to watch the games live at your own leisure with the in-game commentary system. So this is something that's actually new and that Valve have just pushed forward. So it's actually good to see a tournament making use of this. Of course, you can get your commentary at joindota.com. So if you want to hear Toby 1 go on and on about dark holes or black holes, go and check it out.
It's also available in your leisure time as well. You don't have any leisure time.
Leisure.
Can I add one?
Fucking Brits. What's
Go
up?
on.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
I think that the one Gigabyte Dota 2 Masters was a good
that
one.
Too.
I only catch the final between the Chinese LGD and
Zenith.
Loda's new team, Zenith. Awesome games. Chinese are coming around really strong into Dota.
Yeah, it was a series where I think the first series, it was like 3 best of 3s. So they had a potential of like 6 games for the win. And I know that the Chinese team, I think, had the first series already given to them, so it was a little weird in that sense, but Zenith took the second series, and it was like a really close third one, but it was a really good series to watch.
Yep.
Yeah, you managed to watch the whole thing?
No, I got a glimpse of it, like, on and off. They said so.
Yeah, what's up?
But no, it was really good. Like, I think Dota 2 is going really strong in the meta game at the moment. And also adding a lot of new heroes makes a difference, of course.
Absolutely. I mean, we have, what's that new hero that just came out? Rubik that just came out, yeah. Fucking Wepas, I should know. He's sitting next to me giggling to himself the whole time because the hero's broken, apparently.
Wepas, man. Ever since DreamHack. I don't know what the fuck happened to Wepas at DreamHack,
He's
right?
boot camping. He's
But
fucking
he only
boot
played
camping.
Dota.
He's
Only.
He
But,
doesn't. He doesn't leave his PC.
He doesn't talk to
Like he
us.
doesn't talk to anybody anymore in the house.
It's a sad affair, man.
It's really weird. It's
Like
like
the most
it's like the first time I can
To
imagine
gank
what
him.
my mum felt when I just didn't want to leave my room and just played games up until whenever I was just so tired I'd fall asleep. I'm actually concerned for him.
I think the Dota 2 tournament at DreamHack was good, though.
Yeah, but you fucked up Wepas, man.
Nah, man. I
didn't
think
do
he's just
anything.
motivated. He's just playing like a mother. But because he's playing with mouse sports and shit like that, they're constantly in-housing. So it's like,
He's
why
such a
not
fanboy
play?
as well. He's screaming, so annoying.
I love this.
No, he's
Yeah.
laughing. He's like, haha. Yeah. Yeah, boss.
His laughter sounds like screams.
Sounds like screams. Do they keep you up at night? James?
Should do an
The sound of
intervention
his
or
laughter
something.
in your ears.
Yep. Cut this Dota 2 account.
Oh, no, that's too cruel. You see Wepas doing anything like...
I'll redirect his Dota 2 icon to League of Legends. .exe.
Trans is going to shake him. Trans, totally unflustered. Alright, Trans is getting flustered. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on. I have 2 more topics to talk about, actually. We do have the Bloodline Champions tournament. What's up? that just wrapped up. It's the Star Ladder Season 2, and the group stages have been wrapped up. They wrapped up today, in fact, with the top 6 teams that will be moving on to Kiev at the LAN Finals. And that's only happening in a couple weeks as well. So, guys, stay tuned for that. I'll bring it up next week. But the top 6 teams are Razor, meanwhile, in Finland, Gobo, Invictus, Flux, Mr. Dandictory, the last season's champions, and Bring It On. They will all be competing over there in Kiev. And, I mean, amazing. We're seeing already 3 of the teams, I believe, from the last Star Ladder Finals that are going to be competing. Mr. Dandictory and Razor, meanwhile, in Finland, of course, made it to the finals. Mr. Dandictory took it in the end. So Razor are definitely going to be out for blood, trying to get revenge against them. But already this is looking like a fantastic finals. So congratulations to those 6 teams. But last but not least, I'm actually just going to bring this up because there were a lot of big names involved in this tournament. But Shoot Mania had their first major tournament this past weekend. And that was actually a lot of fun to watch, just to get our first glimpse of like true hardcore pros playing this. But we had, Quake Live pros, Counter-Strike pros, even StarCraft 2 pros that were competing in this tournament. And in the end, Sturmy's team, COL Win, managed to take them out. Sturmy, Wins, and Lincoln were able to net the first place win with 3 old men. And you guys are going to know who this is. Faz, Fox, and Noctis, the 3 Swedish beasts from Quake Live.
Oh, Noctis is
Austrian. Oh, Austrian, that's right. 2 Swedish beasts. Sorry. Noctis I always picture as Swedish, but whatever. That managed to take second place. So congratulations to them. But it was actually really interesting. I'd like to get your thoughts also, because I'm sure that you guys were able to catch
I think it's actually a topic that we should start with, because that's the end of our results.
Let's do that.
So we can probably start with Shoot Mania, rather than go straight into the StarCraft 2 just now. So Sturmy Wins and Lincoln won. Faz, Fox, and Noctis came second. And then there was 2 other Quake teams pretty much after that. And then the Counter-Strike players came dead last. In a game which is more like Quakey.
Yeah, but the coolest team is, of course, the one with Newman, the StarCraft player.
We were watching it with In Control, and In Control was like, what the fuck is Newman doing there?
But he had played some event before, right? In
yeah, he played one of the first events, I think.
To me, the only confusion was that there was one French tournament before the remake and one after the remake. Didn't get to catch any of those, but the last one, it was the Summit something called, right?
Yeah, Cyber Summit.
Cyber Summit, yeah. Which one was the big one? I like what Nadeo is doing with it, like putting in money into esports to marketize.
I remember saying this a couple of weeks ago, and no one agreed with me. So
really,
I'm gonna sit here and be proud of this.
No, I'm looking for a state.
I'm just gonna sit here and be quiet.
If I think this is the solution for FPS 1-on-1 or 3-on-3 or something like that, I don't think so, to be honest.
I think the game looks a bit not boring, but it feels. I don't know, it hasn't got its pace yet. There's no flow in the matches. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting, it's a really interesting game mode, playing 1-on-3, but it's like, I don't know, it feels very gimmicky.
I really enjoyed just watching the stream just so I could follow some friends play. And I thought Faz was shit when I watched Faz play.
You were saying that while you were watching too.
Yeah, I was like...
By the way, OD is really upset that his team with Kova, Succubus and Garpy didn't get invited.
Oh, really?
He's butthurt.
Yeah.
And Kova won, I think, the small Cupid tournament at DreamHack. He defeated Faz.
Faz, yeah.
Did he come second?
I don't remember. I think
it was like 800 euro and some prizes, I think.
Yeah, it's really good.
It was really nice.
But I enjoyed watching the guys play, and it was for me. It looked like it's so far away from something that I would consider that I would ever want to cast competitively.
What did you think of the commentary, though? I'm interested to hear that.
It was.
I thought it was shit.
An Australian
who was
guy.
Casting of stream.
Something like that. It was
wasn't he called like Quick?
Was Restream content?
Yeah, he was restreaming it.
So I thought it felt really awkward watching that.
You can never expect the French, though. No offense to anybody who's French, to put on a good event.
We all agreed on the
French. Just
they do good events, but they don't do good English streams.
Yeah.
Dude, they had dancing chicks on the fucking stage. How can you beat that?
That was good.
I missed that part.
I remember that.
You missed that? That was the
But
best
I
part of the
remember
tournament.
we agreed that in its current state, Shoot Mania is basically like the League of Legends of FPS gaming. That's what I said. In its current state.
Who said?
It's still alpha,
We
though.
agreed.
It's still alpha.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing.
I don't
It's
agree
early to
at
say.
all.
Yeah.
I think this it's an alpha, but I wouldn't compare it to what you mean with having a League of Legends game.
It's missing so much.
Yeah, but it's alpha.
Yeah, but it's
That's
like
the thing.
one game mode. If you're in the alpha, there's lots of different game modes as well.
Yeah,
that they are using
I mean,
for some
I've
stupid
seen
reason.
Toby 1 play like a big map game mode, which
Yeah.
looks just more casual fun. But like for me, I'm not gonna back it until someone does something good with the game. Because right now, and if I take a quote, which I shouldn't do, from one of the players that competed, and I'm not going to say who it was, I said,
You cannot figure out who it was.
well, I shouldn't say this
He doesn't
anyway
remember.
because it's not fair. Maybe he got supported somehow. How was Shoot Mania? Response: it's pretty shitty, but I was eager to travel again, so I had some fun.
Yeah.
That pretty much sums up.
Yeah, but I think most of the players feel like that at the moment as well. But it's still an alpha game. It's an alpha, so there's lots of improvements.
Yeah,
to be
lots
made.
of
There was
improvement.
hype for it, and it's like Counter-Strike and Quake Live Pros actually
But-
participating. When was the last time, apart from the big dream hacks and QuakeCon, that Quake Live Pros got to travel to events like that?
Yeah.
But,
Stormy also participated with Cypher.
It's good that they're putting in money for some of these guys to actually play and compete.
Yep.
And at least if they've got them there, they have a chance. But I still consider Shoot Mania's chance very low. I personally think Painkiller will surprise us.
Yeah, I have looked into it to some extent, and I might agree. But Shoot Mania, what I heard, I think it was Live on Free. Maybe it was Slasher who said it. That Nadio's thought behind Shoot Mania is to get out like the game, and then having the modifiers to do like getting it perfect for esports. I think it's a bold move if that's their strategy.
It's learning from history.
But
like a Counter-Strike.
at least it's good that you can have all these kind of different mods. But I have one question to all of you. What do you think? Is it smart to put this much money into the old Quake players and one-on-one players? Like, do the big crowd know who Fox is or Stormy? No?
But I also think it's important that they bring people of similar skill level into a tournament where the games won't be complete and utter one-sided. Like, I think it was good that those teams were in the finals. I didn't actually watch it, but I would consider them to be a very even matchup. But I was only disappointed by watching the stream when Faz was on camera. There was basically two chicks dancing at the front here and here, right? And Faz was just stood behind, like roughly in the center of him, like undoing his like cables.
Not a single look. Man.
And he was just like, and all I wanted him to do was just start busting out some dance moves and trying to copy him, but behind them so they wouldn't have known, and that would have been fucking legendary. I didn't know why Faz didn't do it. I was gonna like phone him. I was like, start dancing, man, like with the girls, because like just go up and be like, yeah, bust some shape,
Fucking own it.
What I mean is like going to E3, going to several French tournaments, bringing a lot of players, probably covering all the expenses and maybe even more, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that maybe it would be better to just bring it to Total Biscuit and Athene and other big stars that can PewDiePie, to get a lot of long attention around the gaming community, who
that's
can
just the
attract
money.
maybe millions of viewers. Okay, Storm is maybe an exception because he's the most known Italian player, but still, those guys that are involved at these tournaments cannot attract millions of viewers.
What were the stream numbers for it on the English?
I don't know.
No idea.
I heard it was like around 500.
Not
Right.
that much.
They could also go
those
the
are
way
like
of
Quake
building new
numbers
stars
that-
that League of Legends did. I mean, all of the stars in League of Legends are new.
So you mean that these players that have been around can be the star from the get-go when Shoot Mania hits?
No, I mean they can build their own stars.
But
They want
they are
to.
using
Spend-
the
they
old
could
stars.
yeah, but they could spend money on building a community.
got
That's
Awesome.
awesome.
Oh, sorry, yeah, we got an awesome picture here. Of
Yeah, that's a good
Faz.
one.
You gotta put it
I
up.
haven't seen that. I
That's
love
so good.
Faz.
Second place.
It's
Dirty
amazing.
hipster.
But do you agree or not? Do you think it's smart or
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, looking at the game as well, it's like it's far off from release as well. Spending money now seems a bit stupid, to be honest.
I think if they want modders to get into it and they want the already established community, then it's smart, I guess, to have it from the get-go.
Yeah, but still, the alpha is so close at the moment that no one can get it. So
It's too early of a game, you mean?
But
You're
what do
trying
you
to
think
get the-
about the most important conclusion we can draw out of this tournament? That Quakers took the first 5 spots.
I don't think that's really that
Yeah, it
important
is.
That
to say
important.
that Quakers were.
I mean, it's
I
like
think
putting.
they're all Quakers, man. Ex-Quakers. It is.
Yeah, but it's like a Quake style game as well, so it's no
that's what I'm
surprise
thinking.
really.
Naturally,
How is that
they're
going to
gonna
feature with
excel.
other communities maybe jumping into this game? Like, will they have a get-go advantage?
Yeah, there's
Or
gonna
you know
be
what I
a,
mean?
there's gonna be a problem, I guess, as well. I mean,
Yeah.
Because the other ones were like Counter-Strike ex-pros, or at least some of them, and
They got demolished.
They got demolished.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
also is FPS.
That
I
might
can't
be-
even imagine when
That's probably going to be
Call
bad
of
for the
Duty
game
kids
as well.
and whatnot come in.
You need a really low skill entry level.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's let that one tell its own story, I guess. Shoot Mania, as we see more from it. Huh?
I think what CS:GO though should have done is that they brought in the pro players too late. I think it definitely had brought in the pro players maybe last spring instead of last fall. They could already have released the game.
They actually brought pro gamers in really early, and then took their advice, made a lot of quick changes, and then didn't do much with them after that, and then brought them in again. So they haven't. Yeah.
I thought that
Joe Miller and the others went over to Seattle a long time ago.
All right.
Very, very early.
But
before there was some sort of show match or some exposure of it, and they had all the
But
pros.
when they had the Source players and Joe Miller going to Seattle,
yeah,
that was last fall.
yeah,
To me, that was the first time that the players got to get hold
Yeah.
of it, and I think that was too late because after that they've changed a lot within the games. We put on maybe more than
Yeah,
half a year of development.
I mean, honestly, like Gabe, just
You
call
what?
him Gabe. Gaben. If I ever got to interview that guy, I would kind of praise him to start with and be like, I saw the story of you going to John Carmack and being sold, the rights to use the Quake 3 engine, and you made this Half-Life game. And after X years, I think it was 1 or 2 years of working on Half-Life, the original, Gabe was like, all right, it's good, but it's not good enough. We're starting again from scratch with everything we've learned, and remade Half-Life, and it came out great. And I want to kind of ask him, so at what point during Counter-Strike Source and Counter-Strike Go did you just give up and change your philosophy on what makes a good game? Because it just feels like, I mean, Half-Life 1, 2, and 3, in terms of the single player and the co-op player, yeah, it was fun, but it's not, for me, anything groundbreaking apart from the original, Half-Life.
Yeah, I agree. The first one was
yeah.
so much better at the time.
And then, it's just kind of Counter-Strike Source compared to 1.6, and now Go compared to Counter-Strike Source. It just feels like there's no one in charge who's got, they have enough money, they can be fuck it. It's actually just, that's like they did in Half-Life, and it was so amazing. So, Half-Life 3, yeah, sorry, not Half-Life 3. That's not even come out yet. But Episode 2, I meant
Most of the latest, or not most maybe, but the latest Valve projects haven't been that successful, have they? I might
Sorry,
be
what do you mean?
a complete retard now, but
Portal 2, wasn't that a success?
yeah, but I mean they were successes commercially, but I mean, were they good, the games?
Yes, of course.
Left 4 Dead 2 was kind of bad, wasn't it? I don't know.
No,
I think the kids love it.
the games
I'm
that come from
probably
Valve
thin ice right
itself.
I think my taste of games agree with you, but I think the general doesn't.
I like what Valve are doing with Dota, though. I think they're doing a great
Yes.
job. So it's
That's amazing.
I'm really
Because they have
happy
Ice
for that, but it just feels like, but it just feels like that Source and the Go and.
I mean, I'm not as
where
familiar
they
with the Counter-Strike history as I should be, but who is the original creator of Counter-Strike? Because it wasn't Valve, it was
Guzman
somebody
and
else who
Cliff.
came in.
Yeah,
Guzman
but
and
he's,
Cliff.
Do they have
he's
him
working
working
on
on Go?
No, I
And
can't
that's the
explain.
thing.
He's got his own project over in
Korea.
Asia,
Korea Counter-Strike, yeah.
and what's it called?
Counter-Strike on...
No, it's nothing new. It's like
Something Attack Force or something.
something,
like that.
something like that. But it's like
First
Counter-Strike
Strike?
copy. But
Yeah.
now you can kick people as well and stuff like that.
But he
trailers
has
look quite
released
cool.
one game and there is doing one more, right?
Yeah.
I think it's called Sudden Strike, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. Something like that.
Yeah.
And
All
this
right.
doesn't apply to the thing.
Yeah. So
They don't actually have the creator of the game working on it like they do Ice Frog with Dota 2.
Yeah.
And this isn't Valve's game that they're trying to work on right now.
okay, so let's get into our
I agree.
StarCraft 2 news.
They're trying to improve on somebody else's game. But whatever.
StarCraft 2 news. First thing in the StarCraft 2 news, with the news of StarCraft, brought to you by Asus at the Good Show. Just thought I'd officially open up the proper news. Is MLG Arenas are now freemium. You may remember MLG Arenas. They caused a big kind of fuss at the beginning of the year, I think it was, when it was a pay-per-view only event. They put on a good show. They hosted it at the MLG offices, and people bought passes. won't talk about all the controversy around it in terms of should people be paying, and some people bought gold membership and said, you know, shouldn't I have this for free? But now Sundance is at it on Twitter again, according to Team Liquid reports, and he basically says, yeah, they're going to be able to make MLG Arenas freemium. There will be still benefits for gold members. And the reason that they said they could do it was, it's possible because we did well with season passes and crushed it with Anaheim, opened the door to more partners. Now, I'm going to have to give a little bit of critique here to MLG when I say this. If you say that our pay-per-view events were doing great, so we're going to stop them and make them freemium, I don't believe that your events, your pay-per-view events were doing great, because it just doesn't, it's like...
Yeah, but maybe they got an offer so they could...
that and a new sponsor thing that makes it possible.
But I don't read the same thing that you are, James. I read that Anaheim was such a big of a success that they got in more sponsors so they can do more freemium events.
They need more space.
I think the pay-per-view was going to crash.
Yes, I agree.
And I think they knew it.
Yeah.
So I think they took whatever profits they had, showed it to their investors and said, look, we're making money, but we need to change our model in a way that we bring in maximum viewers, but also can still make money. So we're going to offer additional content. It's called freemium because you get it free, but there's also a premium side where you pay for the premium and you get all this extra content at the event. This way we can still make money from the people that want to pay, which is not that many anymore, but we still don't ignore the people that want to watch for free, even though that's what they should have done from the beginning, because that's the only way to do it.
Kind of feels like the gold members are being screwed again.
The gold members will get benefits, and that will probably be that they get the premium access under the gold.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's my opinion. If they don't, give the gold members fucking everything for free, they're really shooting themselves.
Though I think that Sundance got what he wanted from it, because what he said for 2012, we can do 5 events or 4 events, something like that. I want to do more events, which he has done, which generated that he can do even more events, like having freemium events. So I think that Sundance, at least what he publicly said, that he wanted to do more events, he got through that shortcut with having pay-per-view, so he can do even more free events.
Yeah.
So
I kind of feel like the pay-per-view events in the beginning of the year kind of saved the company almost.
Yeah, me too. I really feel that
I don't know how bad it was.
Because it's if you've got investors, you have to show some sort of turnover per event. It's like you have to, and I think they showed it. I think they said, "Look, we actually took this much money from the audience, but we flew everybody in, and we cut costs by doing it in our offices, but we still showed that we could do it." And then, as I think the numbers went down, which I hinted at on the JP talk show, which he nodded to. If you saw it on Real Talk, I don't know if you watched the 3 hour.
Yeah, but I mean, we had numbers in one of these shows as well. I remember. Didn't we discuss the numbers a couple of shows ago? They were quite low.
Well, we didn't know them, but I was just saying that. Yeah, I think they're going down, and JP kind of nodded at that. But then now they've opened the door. I think it was good. They saved themselves the embarrassment in terms of. I wouldn't say embarrassment, but saved themselves from a situation where they kind of had to go back to either investors or somebody and just kind of go,
Yeah.
So I think they've done really well, and I think freemium is the way to go.
And their PR actually worked out this time.
I think all their crazy PR kind of keeps them on our talk show as well. So
true.
No PR is bad PR, because they really do get talked about a lot. I mean, Sundance was
the regulars on the Good Show and on Forbes.
Yeah, we're definitely on par with Forbes.
To me, what do you guys think of the? First, I want to say I think that the 8-player arena was a bad idea from the beginning.
Yeah, it was boring.
In many ways, but that was bad. I think also having 32 players is too many for such an event. I think, but What do you think of the League of Legends one? I have big expectations for it, actually.
Well, would you like to entertain the idea that I don't know much about it and tell me what you think?
It's gonna be amazing.
No, but
I mean,
I think-
viewership-wise, it's gonna be really, really good. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, now that when they're not doing pay-per-view, it's gonna be really good. I think the League of Legends audience is probably less inclined to pay for streams.
you
I think they're
Do you
more
think so?
inclined.
I think
Because they have
I mean,
this
the game is
disposable
based
income.
on
Look at
paying
WoW.
small transactions.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
They've
I
been
don't know.
trained to accept small amounts of money. You know, okay, here.
I think
Here's
it's a
$5
bad call.
It's a skin. You know, like it works.
I think it was a bad call. They should have kept pay-per-view on League of Legends and tried it out. I don't know.
It's the
if it-
first
look-
Maybe
proper
they are
event,
too
though.
new
It's
to the
the
game
fir-
with the organization.
Yeah, I
Look at the
think
pool.
yeah, we'll see what happens. I think MLG is going to be having a bit of a problem with League of Legends in the future anyway, so might be their first and last event.
You think?
Well,
Really?
not the last event, but this
Whoa,
was
whoa,
their
whoa, whoa,
second
whoa,
event.
whoa,
Wait.
What
League
are
of
you
Did
saying
you
now?
just say
I didn't
that
say anything.
MLG have a problem running?
He said something.
I said nothing.
What did
I think he said something.
What did you say about League of Legends there?
you think
First-
MLG
I think running a League of Legends tournament is going to be hard. I mean, it's hard running a tournament in League of Legends and StarCraft and fighting game. It's going to be, I don't know.
But
I
you
think
do
you gotta be
realise
inclined
that
to do-
MLG have been running tournaments for a fucking long time. They did World of Warcraft. How shit of a game was that to run tournaments for?
Well, I think that's
Well.
beside the point. I think it's the scheduling issue that you're trying to bring up, and the fact that it takes too long to run a League of
I
Legends.
think there's going to be a lot of more League of Legends stuff coming along. It's going to be a lot more competition in the area as well.
Of course.
And I think MLG is
it's,
going to fall behind if they don't start investing in League of Legends like they do in StarCraft.
Luckily, Riot will invest in League of
Yeah,
Legends for
exactly.
them.
I think someone saying
But they might not invest in MLG.
I mean, it's
it's
where
a
they get
good
the most
point here,
viewing
though.
numbers, though.
in the chat that I should know of. I didn't know about it, but Ryan doesn't allow pay-per-view, and I think that might be true. I don't know. I could be that Riot are all in for the numbers, and I mean, I know that Blizzard has to
but
some
if they-
extent. If you have, you know, if you fill in the application, which all tournaments need to do, have you done it when you run your tournaments?
No,
really
but
interesting.
I spoke to Mark Alberts
Ah,
and he
I'm
said,
weird.
do it later.
Yeah, but anyway, when you fill in this open application, you have like, you know, prize money. If you cut one limit, you have to, you know, go to one special case.
Yeah.
And if you have pay-per-view, there is like a special thing. So I mean, running a StarCraft 2 tournament with having pay-per-view and taking money, there's a
Sure,
problem.
that's fine. But League of Legends, are you sure that Riot don't allow pay-per-view?
Yeah, but if
No,
Ri-
I
if
have no
Riot,
clue
if
about it. But
Riot,
someone said that I should know that they do not allow pay-per-view.
yeah, but
don't-
it's
if they
a
don't allow
natural thing
pay-per-view,
though. It's a natural
okay,
thing because if Riot pays someone to do a tournament and they try to charge people to watch it, of course.
Well, it's
they're
also. I
gonna-
mean, Riot is seeing this as a gigantic marketing opportunity.
Yeah.
That's all they
Yeah.
care about. So
Yeah,
if,
so
that's
if
why
they're
it's
putting,
free.
if MLG is putting roadblocks in front of the people that they want, you know, to see their
Yeah.
game, you know, like pay $5 to see the game that we're kind of paying to have at this tournament, that doesn't make sense to them. That's actually that could explain why.
Yeah, but what I mean is just that we can. I assume at least that Blizzard is not paying MLG to do StarCraft events.
No.
And they do arenas where they have pay-per-view. They could do League of Legends with having pay-per-view. Although you need more of Riot support because you cannot host the tournament realm and you cannot do a lot of things. And they also Riot through the channel owns more or less all the portal
Yeah.
to communicate.
They
have
own
the
everything
community.
in the sense that that's why I don't see like how MLG has any kind of clout or any of these major gaming associations have any kind of clout going in against these video game producers, especially Riot, gargantuan fucking companies like these guys, where they hold all the power because they're like, well, we have the most viewed video game and you want to use it at your tournament, well, that makes you our bitch. Is that not how it works? Where they're just like they can basically ask for anything and get it because all of a sudden MLG need Riot more than Riot needs them?
Yeah, just like when they went to the DreamHack production stage and said, we need this on both
Yeah,
streams.
well, I mean that was
That's bullshit.
that's
No
something.
bullshit! How was that?
It's bullshit. That's why I say it's bullshit. But
Yeah, but that point, that's why I think
let's
we're
actually
gonna-
move on.
that depends on how you run your business. You can either have we're doing this tournament, you support this part, or like you pay for the tournament to have more of a like show game or a partner tournament or whatever.
Yeah, but that's why I think MLG is gonna probably focus on StarCraft 2 a bit more as well.
Yeah, this kind of repeats.
It's gonna-
let's
it's gonna
go
be
ahead and
easier for
move
them
on
to
the
manage.
next
Isn't
one.
that stupid?
Let's
Let's
keep
move
this rolling.
So,
Yeah, but
also in
they have no choice.
StarCraft 2, shut the fuck up.
We needed the cam on him. You're
like a
fucking
ninja.
slow, Trans.
I'm like a ninja.
Also in StarCraft 2, Scarlet.
Why are you going? Okay.
What?
Follow the fucking document, man.
No, I'm not following the document.
What's
right there?
No, I'm
Stop
using the Reddit
swearing.
thread.
No, I have a document for
Stop
the show.
swearing.
Fucking nice.
He made the document. He made
So
the
much
document.
Yeah, and this is
Our
relevant fucking StarCraft 2
Our
news.
community made the Reddit thread.
Yeah, but
Who do I go
the
with?
fuck cares
The
about what happens to
community.
Scarlet?
Why are you even asking to make the document then?
Yeah.
Or Semmler. Because I just didn't want to talk to him for an hour.
Oh, fuck you, cunt. Dude, what the fuck is this shit? Fuck your shit, dude. We don't need to be talking about Scarlet. We have other fucking topics that are relevant for StarCraft 2 right fucking here and that are worth our time, not where the fuck Scarlet goes.
Scarlet joined Team Acer and Semmler
Congratulations,
fucked her.
Scarlett.
Congratulations, Scarlet. Cheers to
You
you.
didn't hear that.
Let's move on.
What?
You didn't hear anything.
What did it say?
You didn't hear anything. Move on.
Move on.
And-
Move on. There we go. That's the next.
This.
That's the next topic.
Alright, next. On
He
the
doesn't
show.
actually have the document open? Okay, he
I
does.
have the document fucking open, just for fuck's sake.
That's what I follow, man.
I would call this a small
I can't
crisis
read
in the
this
production.
childish font. Comic Sans, really?
I'm
You're
sorry.
an embarrassment. Liquid Rising documentary has been released. They also raised a shit ton of money out of donations. They actually said, hey guys, you can all watch it for free, but if you want to donate, you can. And a lot of people did for the documentary. How much money did they end up raising? I saw it around like 30,000, I think, last time I checked it. I can probably
Did it go
go
up to like 40K?
Let me go to their website.
I haven't seen the documentary actually, but
That
apparently
was
it's
also
bad.
the next fucking thing on the Reddit, by the way. This was the next topic. on
Yeah,
the-
so I just printed out the bullshit and, took some good stuff.
We covered Scarlet.
There's
But,
shit that
what
we
was
should talk
interesting
about
about
that
Scarlet
isn't.
was
Okay, go
that
ahead.
Nurture actually recommended her to Team Acer as a replacement for
Elfie.
to make sure they have enough Zerg players. So that's quite a big prop, I guess.
But enough Zerg players? Was that
Zerg
like a
win.
joke?
I don't
Because
know.
they have Nurture. Sorry? They have Lie.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but you need a lot of Zergs at the moment.
Why?
It's so
But
Yeah,
overpowered.
you just need Zergs and Protosses, for fuck's
Yeah.
sake.
Yeah,
For
fuck
me,
Taylor.
the
Stop
thing
playing
part-
DayZ.
You need like 5 or 6 Zergs, then you win everything.
For me, it was interesting that they more or less kicked Elfie. I felt like didn't want to keep to support him to the same extent they did before, and then brought in Scarlet. So like I see it as a replacement. They want Scarlet more than Elfie. I don't know.
Really?
Weird move.
That's my
I
take.
can't make that call. I mean, well, okay.
Let's move on from Scarlet, please.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. And basically, Liquid Rising documentary came out. It's raised now 44,000. Thanks for chat for keeping me up
My
to
God.
date.
44.
Which
Need to
probably
do a documentary.
yeah. Let's do a documentary about
Yeah.
us,
About the good studio.
and then we'll split it. Yeah,
That's-
make 50 grand.
I don't think that
Um,
kind of says a lot about the documentary. It's almost like people donate to Liquid.
Yeah, it's Liquid really.
To me,
I
it was
mean-
a disappointment though.
All people would send to us is like used underwear and stuff, which actually would be quite useful
Do it.
because I've only got clean.
The documentary. Felt like more of a bunch of interviews than a
Yeah,
documentary.
exactly. For me, it was more of a sales
Yeah, a sales pitch.
movie
Yeah.
of selling the team. I would have loved to have a documentary about Team Liquid and not the Team Liquid Pro. To hear like Nazgul's thoughts, how they develop it, hearing like what Rich does on a daily
that's what
basis,
you
together
expected
with
of a
Vaccine
documentary.
or Heartbeat and everybody. Can I get?
Yeah.
I would rather have seen maybe interviewing some of the early users that got into being power users or whatever they call it. I think that I would rather have seen a documentary about the site and more the culture. I would say the culture of Team Liquid.
That's a
Yeah,
documentary.
I mean,
in
the
a
rise,
sense.
the rise of Team Liquid, not the rise of the pro players.
Exactly.
Or not the rise of the pro players, the fall, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I like the part where TLO cried.
TLO cried.
I haven't watched it. That's how interested I am in Team Liquid.
You guys didn't fucking
Oh, he
watch it.
cried when he found that shirt, and it was his inspiration to go on and become the biggest, baddest pro gamer in the
Well,
fucking
now
scene.
you've ruined that
That's
part for me.
right. Well, I bet all 4K people have already seen the fucking documentary, so go and watch it if you haven't. I just ruined a big, life-changing moment for you. It could have been an inspiration for you. I'm sorry, it's
I missed
not
it.
anymore.
Now I like the part where Hero had cool hair.
Yeah.
Why did he cry, by the way? Why did
TLO?
TLO cry?
He found some shirt from his childhood that said, even a little one can become a big one someday or something like that. Despite all the
You're missing
innuendos
out
that
the
you can
part.
tie into that.
He went
He's
to one
actually-
tournament where he met like Nazgul and all other good Brood War players. He did fairly okay, I think, and he got the t-shirt autographed. Then when he joined Team Liquid, oh right, I had the T-shirt, so he found the T-shirt, and like now I'm a good player.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. But it was well done. I think it had like a nice touch to it all.
Just don't call it a documentary. Call it a set of interviews pertaining to Team Liquid, StarCraft 2.
It reminded me a little bit of the Fnatic documentary.
Yes, but the Fnatic one was better.
But the Fnatic one was better because it was done by the production team that they were cutting like Jay-Z's Tour album, in terms they were like doing real big projects, and they came over and did that. And they just did it in like a better way. But I feel for a community project with someone within Team Liquid that actually did it, they did a great job, and I think it's a cool story. It was kind of weird though that like every time you would hear about a player, it was nice but weird, because it was like everyone in the team would always be able to see everyone else in the team can be one of the best or could be the best player.
Yeah, but they were
so it actually made me feel like within Team Liquid as the players, I got to know how much they actually got on and the spirit of Team Liquid, which I liked a lot.
Yes.
And I think the players that they picked up, that Victor picked up, he didn't pick any kind of. He never really picked up these alpha showman guys, if you know what I mean. Like, you know how EG has a lot of.
It's a big contrast. It's a big contrast between EG.
Yeah, but like it seems it's like all the Team Liquid guys, they're like all really, really super nice, but there's always something a little bit weird as well, in terms of like just something a little bit quirky, not weird, I would say.
It's one of those unlikely heroes people.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, definitely. But like the EG guys, the image of them is completely different from Liquid. But I really liked it, and I liked all those guys as well. So, all right. So next on the news is that the StarCraft 2 Championship Series, which is the World Championship Series run by Blizzard. The next series is going to be in the Nordic Nationals. It's going to be hosted by DreamHack and will be taking place in the Globen Annex in Stockholm on July 28th. Is that the same place you held it last?
Annex, right?
Yeah. But I don't. It's not the next one. I mean, I think it's like England WCS is next weekend.
Yep.
Or this weekend.
I think it's this weekend.
I should know, but I don't know.
My impression from it, I haven't read so much about it, but it seems to be really hyped. It seems to be like maybe the biggest thing in England, esport-wise, in a really long time.
Do you want me to tell you what I think of this?
Yeah,
basically, I really want to know.
I know, I just keep
it's at the BAFTAs, by the way, so it should be...
English esports is pretty much a collective of people that get drunk and play video games. Yep. And it's pretty much multiplayer. So
it's like the good studio.
And
they are English.
Well played.
But the more I went to England and the more I went to multiplayer, the more I saw the community kind of just not... It wasn't going any direction. And it was just like... I was there when I was like, I don't know, 16, 17 or something at a multiplayer, and I went back and it was just like to promote BRC, and I was like, it just doesn't feel like anything bigger. Like, I'm actually seeing the same fucking sponsors and their little booths, that I saw 10 years ago selling. And I was just like, oh my God, English esports. And then ESL went over to England and tried to do some shows, and basically no one turned up apart from the players and the people that had to be there, which was me, unfortunately. And I told them not to take EPS to England, and it was a fucking stupid idea. And then they basically having to do this for Blizzard, and Blizzard want to be there, and Blizzard can bring in people because of the brand, as we've mentioned before, but the player pool in England is not so good that if you don't bring in Tasteless and Artosis, you're going to have a pretty shitty event. So it's pretty much not the UK WCS event, it's the meet and greet Tasteless and Artosis in London event.
Are they coming? Artosis coming? I thought there was only Tasteless.
Yeah. I thought it was both. I thought it was Tasteless.
I had no idea. I know they were coming.
Right.
That's quite funny, but I mean the English or the UK players base is actually improving a lot.
Yes.
You got Bling, you got the Muslim, and you have this John Rico guy.
Yeah, but
so there's something brewing over there.
It's not. Yeah, but it's nowhere near the pool where you could just take Calorus and whoever else wants to commentate from the ESL staff. but I actually think the strongest thing about English esports right now is their barcraft in London, because they're always on Twitter, they're always watching the events, and English people will naturally just kind of collect around a pub and talk shit. So I'm actually really happy for them that they've actually got Tastosis, because I think it's actually going to be a really great event for all the fans.
Do you think it just legitimizes the event? Essentially, they're bringing the two biggest casters in the scene over. I mean, is that their...
I'm not going.
Have you heard anything about the numbers? Like, I think that they are more or less sold out, or like a lot of people will show up and see this event.
I think, I think it's because of Tastosis.
It might be right. To me, I don't really care about why. I just see that it's happening. I'm really glad for it, because having, like you said, a lot of good players from England are like getting better. So they're starting to have a pool of players. And
I mean, in England for a long time, and I've been following English esports for a long time, and it's always been the feeling that no one in England is good, so I can't be good either. So I mean, if you see a couple of good players doing well at international tournaments, and then you have one of these events in London, it's gonna get a lot of people excited as well. It's gonna keep growing.
Difference though with COD and Source?
Yeah, I mean, in Source and in Call of Duty, England or the UK has always been
fairly good,
the best, or one of the best nations.
Yeah. But they haven't been on the big
but multiplayer also always supported good CS Source tournaments at multiplayer. So there was always a LAN scene there, which there wasn't in all the other countries. So
that has been like a major in Europe, right? For Source.
Yeah, it's almost one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, exactly.
If not the biggest one.
I think almost the biggest one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's going to take, that's the UK one happening, and then there's also going to be DreamHack doing the Nordic Nationals.
Yeah, for instance, France, and there are some other countries.
Yeah,
like.
And then we just recently had the WCS something Europe.
Europe, did like...
Combined Europe.
Combined
Lowly
Europe.
won that one.
Who?
Lowly. It's good, interesting. Perfect so.
Yeah, but he's kind of good.
Good.
It's like bonfire in your basement.
Yeah. All right, so next on the news, which is put in here by you.
Clutch shit.
No, we're doing this part. Total Biscuit on his Real Talk interview with JP. I don't know why we're turning this into a thing, because I just think people's opinions are people's opinions, and you know. But anyway, here we go. Total Biscuit calls out EG Training House for being a frat house. Expected to see more from the only American training house.
It's not the only American though. Complexity's got one right now.
Complexity and Razer have got theirs?
Yeah, the Razer one. The invisible one.
I didn't fucking read it, right? I'm just saying what I...
I thought that's what Total Biscuit said.
Established training house that's been running for a while
I thought that's what Total Biscuit said, so, but... Yeah, I mean, I saw his comments. It's really nice when people actually link to the YouTube section where he says stuff like that as well, so you don't have to watch 4 hours of him talking. But I agree. It's like, I mean, that house is more of like a marketing ploy than anything else. It's not a training facility. It's more like a headquarters for the team, in my opinion.
I think it's a training facility for sure, but I think
they call it a training facility, but they don't train. I mean, they don't improve.
But I don't think it's I think they are to some extent. I think just the problem might be that it's not anywhere near the rhythm or the feeling that the Korean training facility has, because it seems that they are distracted with so much other stuff.
I don't think
and they doesn't have a coach, right?
Scoots, I guess. I don't know. I don't think.
I don't think so.
What the fuck?
I mean, I think Scoots has everything to do.
I don't know.
That's funny.
That was the most random response to. They don't have. He says, Hellspawn goes, they don't have a coach today, and then you was Scoots. I don't know. Like, what the fuck, man?
That's awesome. Their coach.
I mean, comparing it to the Korean houses, I don't agree on their system as well. I think it's quite. I mean, the Korean houses are quite horrible as well. They look like concentration camps, some of them.
That's a fucking big statement as well. You've got
but they're crammed in like three-room apartments, like 17, 18 of them playing non-stop. It's
look
like
at you. Just look
it's
at
horrible.
You with your new jazzy clothing, calling Sir Scoots the coach. Korean pro gaming houses, concentration camps.
I'm not calling Sir Scoots the coach. I mean, he's the only guy there that's not playing, I guess.
I know. I'm just
going to have to be some sort of a coach.
I just like the. Yeah, we've fucked his
agree with
mic.
you. I don't understand really why this did get so big.
I just think there's a lot of drama around now.
But maybe.
Yeah.
It's because Reddit is made up of like 80% Americans.
But what did Total
Uploading
Biscuit
everything
mean?
that's funny about EG.
Did he only say that it's a bad way for them to train compared to the investment of doing
But
it?
the problem
or he
is-
saying like they having girls over and having parties and stuff like that?
The problem is with Total Biscuit, he's not in the fucking house. He doesn't know what the fuck they do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't really have a fucking opinion on it. Apart from, oh, I expected them to do a little bit better. He doesn't know when they have parties. He doesn't know how many times, In Control blocks the toilet when he needs to shit, and then the whole team have to, work to unblock it and lose training time. That information...
It's a lot of APM, though.
Isn't... that information isn't fucking out there. So the point is it's like all you can really say about EG, in my opinion, is they probably, all the players I see, work very hard to promote their sponsors.
Yep.
And if that's what the team are happy with and that's what the sponsors are happy with, great. If any of the players feel like they need to say, hey, actually, I kind of want to start winning more tournaments, they can be like, okay, well, what are your ideas to improve? Oh, I think we could maybe get this coach to come in. Okay, maybe that's a good idea, but it's going to cost money. So it's kind of hard to have an opinion on where they are without actually knowing all the information.
Yeah.
So
I think the general, my opinion at least is like the general, how do you call it, the model of the house, or having people living there and working there and doing everything in the house is quite flawed. It's like the Korean model, but worse almost.
But I think that's what Odie said when he talked about having a pro gaming house in Korea. He said he would have one house for sleeping, one house for playing and training, and they would have to turn up at certain times as a job.
Yeah,
That's how
when
the pro
Dignitas
league teams work.
when Dignitas get a house in the future, we're gonna have basically a training facility combined with an office, and then people can basically live wherever they want, and they come in for a couple of hours a day and train and do stuff, and then they have
Couple of hours a day.
Yeah, but like going to work, you come in at 10, you leave at whenever. But
that's like
11.
The internet cafes in Stockholm, like Matrix, like Inferno Online, who had teams, they had more that kind of system.
And then you have,
Owning
then people can have lives as well, because you need a life outside the gaming house to be able to live.
Develop as a human being.
Yeah, and develop as well, because if you play in the Korean camps, if you play 15, 16 hours a day and then go to sleep and then play again, it's like, I don't know. It's not
to
good.
me, they have invested a lot into a house, which they have made really nice. I think it's a good environment to live for a training house. But they have sent their best players to Korea to try to get in shape to win tournaments, and they've left the rest in this house.
Yeah,
so
they're there to
having
market the
JYP, Puma, Torsane, and Hak, and to some extent, I think Idra is in Korea, right? I mean, they are in the Slayer's house instead. So the best players are practicing in Slayer's house and not in the EG house. And then I don't really see the point of having the EG house.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're using it as an office as well for marketing.
Well, yeah, that's the
stuff,
thing. It's their office,
and it's
their
not a
PR
training
department.
facility.
But of course, it's nice when they go to American events because there are so many American events, so they can stay in this house in between events. That's good.
Yeah. So in my defense, because I basically said that I don't think Total Biscuit knows a lot of what's going on in the house.
He's actually been in the house.
Huh?
So he's actually been in the house then, I guess.
Well, I don't know if he has, but the thing is Jeff told me, about the house and how it works and stuff when he was over here, but you kind of have to see it firsthand. Yeah, but I don't feel it needs to be that much of a topic, and I don't know why it was that big of a uproar from the community. You tell them they should be doing better with other people's money, not our money. Why do we care if they win, lose? Wait.
It's more like people being thirsty for drama.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know. But I should reply, because people have been asking me to reply about Total Biscuit, Real Talk, where you mentioned me.
This is the reason why I put it in here. I knew we would segue into this.
Because I haven't seen it.
Well,
Can you just recap what he said about you?
I can't really remember.
Of course not.
No, I can't. But
You said
all
some
I
stupid
remember
stuff.
How are you
was...
going to comment on what he said about you if you don't know what he said?
Point by point, man.
I can remember a bit, but
Okay,
I just remember... I remember things by feelings.
This is so true, though.
I'm very special like that. He was basically we're not really friends.
I think he called you frenemies.
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 Well, I wouldn't
It's
say
a love-hate
friends.
relationship.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Doesn't he have a lot of frenemies then?
I mean, he didn't really call you out or anything. I think he just explained the situation as well.
But
He said some stupid stuff in Valencia, apparently.
no, it was fucking brilliant. I called his wife, right, admittedly. I insinuated his wife was a prostitute. That's right, well done, Newman.
Yeah.
And then,
So you can imagine
because
that
we
she
were
was
doing
a bit-
banter, and Total Biscuit was coming back, and I was like,
Taking this shit down.
and,
Time to drop
and then
the nuke.
his comebacks, you know, I was like, not bad, you know, but try this one. And so, and then when I got to because he just said, you know, his best comeback was inviting me on his YouTube, where basically I would give him more ad revenue, and I said, oh yeah, I'll happily come on your YouTube to help you with the ad revenue because I heard those hair transplants were expensive, etc. And then somehow I insinuated his wife was a prostitute afterwards, which was. And then one of the audience was kind of silent, and they went, ooh. And then Total Biscuit didn't say anything. And then some guy said, that's cheap. Like, shouted out, that's cheap. And I was like, actually, nah, it was kind of expensive.
I missed that one.
Yeah, but, like, I didn't do it because I didn't like the guy. I did it because I was just like, I was bored. And
Didn't you say more or less that Apollo went to Hungary to like buy his girlfriend or something else?
no, online.
Online.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean,
But anyway, my thoughts was it kind of felt that he was telling the same story that I would tell, where I'd be like, yeah, we did this and it was fun. And then there's Total Biscuit side where it kind of felt like, he pushed me. And you know what I mean? It felt like that. It felt like when you're at school and you've got a mate and you're having a laugh and you're kind of like, you know, throwing shit at each other. And you know, English schools, you do this a lot. And it's all a laugh and it's all a joke until he goes and tells his mum and the head teacher. And then you get called into the room and you're like, did you really call his mum a prostitute? Fuck, that actually happened to me at school. I actually called one of my mates. I said the only reason to one of my mates, I was like, mate, the only reason you're so fucking rich, let's face it, is because your mum's a MILF and she's a prostitute. And that's the only reason you have all the cool toys. And
the ultimate
and
comeback.
that went back, yeah. Yeah, he spiked my pizza. Because we went into home ec class and I made a pizza in home ec. We had to learn how to cook, and I just chose to make pizza because I knew that's what I was going to eat for the next 20 years. I was like, fuck it, if I'm going to make something. And then as I put my pizza in the oven and turned away, apparently he spiked it with loads of salt, and his mum ended up ringing my mum to tell me that, don't eat the pizza. It's been spiked with salt. Dum, dum, dum. Crazy 12-year-old kids or whatever that he was at the time, and then so I gave it to the dogs, and it probably was going to be. And now they're dead.
Poor dog.
He's missing.
But basically, it felt like, because I really like Total Biscuit, he's really nice, and like he's done a lot of cool things for me. Like I asked him to do a video on Sanctum, and he did it, and it helped him sell. He's done Bloodline Champions. I really like the guy. I like him off camera, and I like him on camera. And so it felt like it was like, rah, and then it was like, actually, he was upset.
Yeah.
Because he told the story about me being upset when he was casting when I was doing Quake, but actually, he said I was really annoyed, and I was like, actually, I wasn't really annoyed. I thought it was really funny, and I just wanted to tell you to like shut up in a funny way. So rather than, you know, I tried to impersonate him, which I did brilliantly.
Yeah,
all you need to do is just shout
awesome
and look like a twat.
With a British accent.
Which I did perfectly.
Yeah. Did he notice that?
He didn't even notice. No, that's the funny thing. But for a little bit, he went quiet. But yeah, no, I really like the guy. So
I really like Total Biscuit
fake.
in more or less always, but I think that maybe to some extent when he goes online,
I just think he's
think that he's
sensitive.
maybe overreacting a little bit too much and want to tell the community about how he feels. I think that he's greater than he has to.
One tweet at a time.
I think that to many extents he doesn't have to do that because he's so big. More or less, he's bigger than anyone else within gaming compared to anyone else in esports.
I don't know, man.
I mean, his YouTube, the numbers that he pull and the gaming companies that he works with, with all these game reviews, it's bigger than everybody else in the esports. So he doesn't have to really care about it in the way that he does. Well, I think he takes it too personal. That's my impression.
I really like the guy as well, so I'll try not to say anything like negative, but it seems like his skin is a little thin. But he shows that. But when he kind of comes across, he kind of shows thick skin.
No, I didn't mean that he's fat or anything like that. Sort of like what?
That's
I was actually going to comment on that.
Shall we take our break?
Shall we take a break, everybody?
Yes.
Should we have a break?
Yes.
That wasn't really a news segment. That's just like weird stories and random talk about.
Why do you think I put it in here?
We
We needed a moment to cut into break. It's perfect. Story time, break time. Alright, we'll be right back.
Yeah, I've got a phone call with Jenna Bain. It's about 50 cents an hour. Gonna get me the fuck off.
Views that he has on his biggest clip is like 7 million.
Just kidding.
I'm reading the fucking chat.
3 times.
Stop cock blocking me, Hellspawn.
Fucking retards.
It's like a parrot.
Listen, we're gonna take a break. Come on, say your part, say your bit.
Yeah, say your bit, Hellspawn. Send us off the break.
How the hell can Total Biscuit be bigger than Day 9? Day 9 is the biggest one in the world. Like,
You did not just do that. You did not just do that. Alright, fuck this. Break.
Stop reading chat.
Let's go.
You idiots, all of you.